Welcome, Mohammed Shaik. How are you doing today?
I'm
Good
doing well,
morning.
sir. How
Good afternoon. Yeah. Mhm.
afternoon?
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us, Mohammed Shaik. So, uh, we would like to hear the topic of innovation of products and services aligned to the strategy. Okay, that's
Sure.
very interesting. So, let me give a quick introduction to Mohammed Shaik. Mohammed Sheikh, a seasoned leader with over 25 years of global experience, specializes in driving sustainable improvement transformations within product and technology organizations in the technology sector. His career mission is to instill a sustainable, disciplined, get right stuff done ethos, fostering resilience, and effectiveness with the significant impacts at entities like PayPal, eBay, and Blackhawk Network. Mohammed's enterprise spans fintech and e-commerce, SaaS-based collaboration tools, and SME business solutions. So, very interesting. So, you touch the technology part because it's a technology is driving everything, and it is very contemporary and relevant at this point of time. So, Muhammad Sheikh, we will be happy to hear you how this product and service innovation and alignment to the strategy take place to help the organizations. So, thank you for joining, and over to you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Abdul. So, can you guys see my screen? Started sharing? Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
All
we
right.
can hear you.
So the crux of the next 60 minutes, what we are going to spend around uh, strategy and innovation convergence. How do we align these two things so that we are on forging the path of to technological product innovation. So it's about how we want to integrate strategy and innovation. So that's what it is all about. And how do I move to the next slide?
Just click next button. Should go.
Oh, okay. Can you see the next page?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much to the organizers of this Strategy Execution Summit, and thanks for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here and sharing my wisdom, whatever I have learned in my last 3 decades of working in different companies. So, thank you. Moving on to this one, before we get into the core of the this session, I want to read out the premise. Today we are not here to, to teach or preach something. We are here to unlearn. So the biggest problem I see around innovation and strategy not being converging in many companies is just because of we don't want to unlearn. So people continue to work with the legacy baggage and not, making themselves relevant to the context. So the convergence of strategy and innovation thrives when we let go of outdated beliefs and embrace the unknown. So that's the key point here. So this starts with the CXOs of the organization, where these folks, right? Usually I have seen the leaders when I work with the CXO leaders, they may be having 20 years, 30 years of experience running two, three companies successfully. And they say that, oh, I've been doing this for 15 years, 30 years. Sheikh, what you're telling is does not make any sense. So this is where the problem is. So we need to let go out the beliefs and embrace the unknown. To lead and inspire the change, we must first shed the comfort of uncertainty. Certainty. Let's disrupt our thinking to pave the way for breakthrough ideas and innovation by having the right strategy. So, so that's what the crux of this presentation. So I'm going to focus on more on unlearning rather than teaching or preaching you anything around this particular topic. Okay. So with that, let's get into the agenda. So what we're going to do is I'll throw some light on the introduction of the subject, and then I'm going to throw some light around why many companies struggle to have right strategy. Then I will discuss about how many companies struggle to understand innovation. And then the convergence of innovation and strategy, that's the core which I'm going to discuss. Then I'm going to suggest few steps how we can achieve this particular aspect of converging of strategy and innovation with tangible takeaways. So, and then we will discuss one end-to-end hypothetical example so that you guys can connect the dots what we have discussed in the above five topics, so that you guys can take away a clear, tangible example, so that you guys, when you get back to your work, to your company, probably you can try out some of the things, learnings or unlearnings from this session. Then I'm going to put around concluding session. There are a couple of slides which I wanted to conclude this session, because concluding, when you do a seminar, right, if you don't conclude properly, the percentage of uh, retention of the learning of the audience is very less. So this is my teaching experience of 30 years. So I'm going to spend a couple of slides around concluding the session, and then we can open the floor for the Q&A sessions. Let's start with the introduction. What is strategy? What is innovation? And then why it is vital for converging strategy into innovation. Why can't we do it separately, or why do we need to align these two things? How this is going to make it successful to any company in terms of their products or services what they are offering, right? So let's start with some basics. Okay, what is strategy? And you can do this experiment in your organization. When you go back to your organization, pick top three leaders in your organizations, have one-on-one with them, and then ask them, what do you mean by strategy? I bet you will get three different answers. That's one part. The other part is you can ask the follow-up question, okay, what is the strategy for this year? And I challenge and I bet that you get three different answers from all the three leaders. So the strategy is an art of making integrated choices that position a firm for sustained advantage in its industry, yielding superior financial return. So there are two aspects here. One is about the product, positioning your company, and then the other one is around the financial results. So it involves deliberate decision making. So strategy is all about decision making, what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. Okay. So the combination of these two things will really give us a focusing on where and how to excel in the market. So two things. One, what are our choices, where do we want to focus, and where we don't want to focus as well. So these two things should be integrated well and communicated across the company. Otherwise, what will happen if you say only, okay, we have to, these are our choices, these are the things we need to focus on. So what happens in a larger organization, even in a mid-sized organizations, these things get each leader will have their own choices and favorites, and then they go into their own direction. So make sure that when you are focusing on making choices, right, do's and as well as don'ts as well, so that you excel in the market, aligning with the organizational capabilities and goals to achieve competitive advantage. The another key thing on this slide is capabilities. So your strategy is directly connected with your capabilities of the organization. So unfortunately, if you ask again to the same leaders, right, what are our capabilities? People don't have the idea what capabilities their companies have. Okay, we'll get into that details as we go on. But as a whole, this is what strategy is all about. It's all about making the choices and bringing the focus, and then aligning the capabilities of the company, and then goals to achieve a competitive edge in the market. Now let's spend few seconds on what is innovation. This is also the same story. You can do the same experiment with the same leaders again. Innovation is the art of creating new value for customers. Look at that one. First, it starts with customers, not with your, revenue or your profit or EBITDA or whatever the measurements or KPIs, whatever you have. It is all about customer. If you remember the guru of management, Peter Drucker, he said the goal of any company is to create customer. Okay, so innovation is all about revolving around customers, and it is all about deeply understanding their needs, solving problems, creativity, and delivering compelling solution. And this is very hard. This is very hard, and this is where I group the entire companies, right, into most of the companies and good companies. Good companies have mastered how to innovate, and the most of the companies, which are close to 90% of the companies in the world globally, they don't innovate. They cannot innovate because they don't have the understanding of the what is innovation and how it is going to solve our customer problems. So they come up with a list of things which are there in their control. Strategy and innovation both are something which is not in our control. This is another key point every company has to understand. And that is where the hard part of your strategy and innovation aligning these two. It is very hard, and only good companies can do this one. It's not that I'm saying that the most of the companies cannot do, but they need to put conscious effort in really bringing the innovation through having right strategy. Moving on to the importance of why we need to worry about convergence of this strategy and innovation. The fusion of this strategy and innovation is vital as it aligns long-term objectives. The previous lecture, right, he was talking about having a strategy of 7 years. Ellen was talking about 6 years, 7 years. Long-term, the goals and objectives with dynamic creativity, foster adaptability, and ensuring sustained success in a rapid changing world. The another thing we need to recognize, the things are changing so rapidly. Today's break, breakthrough technology tomorrow's has become it will become a legacy. Okay, so in this scenario, how do we bring the synergy between your strategy and innovation is very vital. On a regular basis, you need to um, have a proper review system and mechanism of tracking how you are building the capabilities in bringing these two things together in making the company successful. So I'll throw some light around why many companies, I'm talking about many companies, I told you, right, two groups, struggle to have right strategy. So, number one is lack of clarity. Example, Kodak struggled with its transition to digital photography because it lacked a clear vision of future photography market. And what are the consequences? It went bankrupt in 2012. It's just because they don't have the clarity on digital strategy. They were sticking and holding on to what was their strength at that time. They could not foresee the vision, how the market is trending. So, the lessons learned from this one and what we need to unlearn. Let's say you are a company of 20 years, built a great product, uh, but still you need to have the telescope. Okay, you have two things. The my favorite metaphor is, you have microscope and then you have telescope. Microscope is something you see for the present, and the telescope is something you see what is coming up. Okay, in terms of the vision. So as a company, right, I mean, if you don't have that one, then it is very difficult for you to be having the right strategy. Okay, poor understanding of the market. Example here is Blockbuster failed to recognize the potential of online streaming. And what happened? It went bankrupt in 2010, while Netflix became a dominant player in the entertainment industry. Now you can see the success of Netflix across the globe. Wonderful, wonderful. So this is all because the companies don't understand the market. They are in rush in terms of making money, profits, okay, EBITDA, all these things, right? So so all these things what I am explaining here needs, they don't come free of cost. Every slide on my desk, I mean deck, um, needs some premium from the company to invest in achieving, in delivering great products by having right strategy. Moving on, ineffective leadership. The example I can give you is Yahoo. Yahoo had a series of leadership changes and inconsistent strategic direction in early 2000s. It was considered as the poster boy of internet when I started my career into IT. What was the consequences? Ineffective leadership and strategy missteps caused Yahoo to be lose its competitive edge. Eventually, it was sold to Verizon in 2017, and again it became an independent company later part. That's a different story. But the lessons learned over here is, if you don't have effective leadership, um, I don't think you are going to have a right strategy, and then which will lead into innovation. And then another important thing is inadequate resources and capabilities. Example I want to quote here is RIM, the Research in Motion, which were the makers of the BlackBerry phones in 2000, was the first smartphone released by any company um, in the global industry. They failed to invest sufficiently in new technologies and capabilities to compete the iPhone and Android. Consequences: market share plummeted, and the company had to pivot away from hardware to software and services. So, so what is the lessons learned from this one? What we need to unlearn? Where are we putting our capabilities? Where are we putting our resources in terms of innovation? Because without innovation, if you are a technology company, whether you are offering services or product delivering products, I don't think you are going to be successful in this one. I'll give you an example from um, uh, in 1999, zero smartphones. So in 2000, the first company was the BlackBerry, which introduced this one. And when iPhone came into picture, and Steve Jobs His imagination was, I don't want to have a keyboard in my phone. So he was a truly, a visionary in terms of building truly world class products. He wants the users to type on the glass. Wow. So, so that's, around the capabilities we need to build in terms of um, making your company innovative company. Resistant to change, because when you bring the change, right, when you bring the right strategy, breaking the stereotype what you have been doing for the 20 years or 30 years, it's a change basically. And then obviously the first thing you face is the resistance. The example I can give you is Nokia initial resistance to adopting the Android operating systems and sticking to its own Symbian operating system. Consequences, the same thing which I described, and then they have to sell its mobile phone business to Microsoft in 2013. Poor communication during the mergers between AOL and then Time Warner in 2000. Poor communication and cultural clashes were rampant between these two companies when they merged. Consequences, the merger is considered one of the worst in the industry history and leading to massive financial losses and eventually separation of these two companies. So make sure that when you have the right strategy and you focus on and the innovation, it's constant communication which is going to make you successful. Short-term focus. The example I want to give you is CS, focused on heavily on short-term cost-cutting measures because it is in your control. This is where many of the companies, when they are not doing good, what they do is cost cutting because cost cutting is in their control, not not their out of their control. So they do that one, and because of that, what has happened? The consequences, it went bankrupt in 2018, and after 2018, the story was different. I cannot go into this one, so we have already running late. Lack of alignment across the lack of alignment across the organization. Example, General Motors in the early 2000s had various brands and divisions operating with little alignment of synergy. Consequences, restructured with the bailout in 2008 financial crisis. So that's something. Lack of alignment across the organization. Failure to monitor and adapt. If you are not inspecting adapt, again, okay, is the example, and you are going to die. It's like a frog. The example given by um, Peter Sinji in his Five Disciplines book. If you have a um, frog in normal water and hot water, beautiful metaphor. If you are not inspecting, adapting what is happening in the industry, then you are going to perish at your own peril. So you have to be looking at outside. And then complexity and over engineering. Best example I can give you is Boeing 787, the Dreamliner. Wow! When it was launched, it was so, greatly projected. Um, and that complexity of that entire product significantly delayed the cost overruns, hurting Boeing's profits and reputation. So you need to make sure that you make things simple and not over engineering when you are doing the innovation. So now I'll focus on why people struggle on innovation. So, misunderstanding the concept. Many companies equate innovation solely with the groundbreaking technology advantages of big ideas. Nah. I'll give you an experiment for you to do it. What you can do is um, you can ask any leader in your organization again about the pick from the different functions and ask them what does it mean innovation to you. a guy from CFO organization, a guy from operations, a guy from supply chain management, and see what you hear from them. Innovation encompasses a broad spectrum, including instrumental, incremental improvements, process optimizations, business model innovations, human behaviors. There are so many things are there, and people don't know about these concepts. They only think about the moment you say innovation, they only talk about technological advancements. No, it's not true. There are many ways um, that companies can bring in the innovation in making their product successful. Lack of clear definition, again, many of the companies they don't have clear definition, and that's where board to bottom they really struggle. What is our understanding of the whole thing, and how do we bridge gap between our strategy and then our innovation. Then again, short-term focus, which we already discussed in the strategy thing as well. Companies often prioritize short-term financial problem because they are accountable to the board for every 3 months. They need to show the numbers, and if you tell to the board that hey, we are working on a product which is coming up in 18 months, they will throw you through the window and then say, we don't want this kind of a thing. We want money what we are investing. So reality is sustainable innovators requires a long-term perspective, an investment in future opportunities, even if they don't provide immediate returns. So this is something again, you guys need to work with your leadership, make them educate, unlearn what we have been doing as a company. You have been doing, and then try to change the things. And again, misalignment with strategy. Reality is here. Strategic element ensures that initiatives support the company's long-term goals, add real value here. So it's all about customer, keeping the customer in the center, front and center, and then keeping the innovation. And then many of the CXOs they don't agree for this one. They say that no, I want 100 crores or 100 millions revenue by this quarter. That's it. You do whatever you want. I don't even care. So if you don't have that kind of a buy-in at the top, I don't think it will percolate to the bottom. And the engineers don't care, the product team don't care. Okay, we want to do this one. Okay, let's do it for it. So your focus is only for 3 months, and then every 3 months you are that's how you are operating. Again, insufficient resources, which I discussed in the strategy as well. Um, the adequate investment so nothing comes free of cost. So there is a saying, right? There is nothing called free lunch. Even to get your free lunch, you have to stand in the queue. That's your time. You're spending your time by standing in the queue. You get your food, find a place to sit, eat your food. All this involves your time. So there is the economists say that whenever there is a free lunch, there is nothing called free lunch. There is something behind that. In reality, also, if you want to bring in innovation, you need to have sufficient resources. Failure to understand the customer needs. The first and foremost thing what we do is we completely ignore customer needs. We think that technology will solve the everything problem. So Marty Kagan, I don't know how many of you know that he's the guru of product management, and he is based out of Silicon Valley. And if you want to, he has written a couple of books around product innovation and product management practice per se. And he has consulted or rather coached almost every top company in Silicon Valley. He talks about and if your engineering team is not involved right from the day one of the product, the concept what we have, then you are only operating at 50% of your capacity. Unfortunately, in many of the companies, the engineering team is involved at the fag end of the life cycle of the product development, which is absolutely rubbish. In the modern world, if you want to run modern corporation building truly world-class products, you need to understand the customer needs, and then you need to involve engineers right from the beginning. Complexity of implementation. Reality is, um, you need to have effective project management, cross-functional collaboration, and a clear go-to-market strategy are essential for successful implementation. So now we are talking about the implementation, the execution. Communication challenges, which we talked about earlier as well. There needs to be a clear, transparent communication in every all hands, not only at a CXO level, even each CXO, let's say CTO is having their all hands, they need to talk. Let's say there are four people reporting into CTO, each individual's all hands, they need to talk about. So the people on the ground should hear this communication many times. There is a saying, right? You need to hit an ice to break 7 times, or you need to watch an ad to buy a product or get influenced by that ad. You need to watch it for 7 times. So likewise, you need to communicate persistently across the organization from top to bottom to make sure that everyone understands what is this company and what are we going to do and how I can contribute to the success of this company. Lack of talent. Innovation requires a diverse set of skills and capabilities that may organizations lack. So, what is the reality here? You need to attract, retain, and nurture talent. So, HR organization comes into picture here with the right skills and innovative mindset is crucial. It starts with hiring the right people. So, there is a difference between hiring the best people, hiring the right people. Okay, I'll give you a simple metaphor. Let's say you live in a place and you want to buy a car. You have a lot of money, and you cannot drive that ar the place where you live into that place. Is it a right? Is it the best choice? The best car is the best in the world. So you have spent um, close to some 100 millions in buying that car, but you can't drive that one to the place where you live because of various technical issues. So now, is this the right choice? Not probably. So, so when you hire for your company right talent, it is not about the best talent, it is about the right talent. When I say right talent, so it is about the fitment into the context. Okay, whether this person will fit into this context of our company, can he or she be successful in delivering what is expected from them in driving the innovation. So that's around talent we need to keep in place. Lack of imagination and competency. This is my favorite. This thing, imagination. The best example I can give you is Steve Jobs. Awesome. And then if you see, I'm not sure how many of you read autobiography, biography of Steve Jobs. Um, it's worth reading. In that, you can find his personality and how creative he was and how imaginative he was, and something we can learn into our companies to foster an environment that encourages out of the box thinking and then rewards creative problem solving. Imagination is like I'm not sure. 30 years back, we used to have something called tape recorder. I don't know these generation people. They know about, they have seen it or not. It used to have two buttons, play, three buttons, rewind, and fast forward. So the fast forward is something I compare with the imagination. So you need to build this capacity, competency, imagine of imagination right from the board to the bottom. everyone in the company need to have this competency, and it is the most ignorant um, of many things in any company. So the lessons learned from here for you folks when you go back to your day job, make sure that first gauge where you are as a company in terms of your this competency. Okay, this will give you a lot of insights where and why we are not able to innovate through right strategy. Moving on to this one, now I'm going to throw light around convergence around of innovation and strategy. Um, so, why convergence is crucial? It aligns creative solutions with strategy and with business goals. Okay, so we know that to achieve this goal, we need to have these many creative experiments, and these experiments may be uh, converge into a product or a service, may not be. It's a bet. You need to invest in that. As I said, nothing comes free of cost. So the example I want to give here is the eagles which fly, right? And they look for the prey from almost what 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers high from the ground level. And if you look at their strike rate, they fail in 90% of the cases in getting their targets. Or less than 20% is what their success rate in getting their targets. So companies also the same thing. When you do an experiment, it is not guaranteed that you are going to convert that experiment into a successful product. That's okay. So we need to bring in the culture of the experimentation. Then moving on, enhances competitive advantages. You need to enhance the thing which I said in the previous slide, right? The imaginative power of every employee in the company, whatever the function they are in. Um, I'm just giving an example. Likewise, there are many are there, and it is. I'm not sure I have the time to take over all those things. Then facilitates adaptability in a rapid changing market. So this convergence will help us to adapt, inspect, and adapt rapidly in making the making the change according to the market changes happening on a day-to-day basis. Benefits enhances the agility, so it builds ability to respond quickly to the market changes. So you cannot say that, oh, it will take 12 months to build that one. What? You are going to perish by that time. You spend 12 months sweet time in delivering that particular product, and then by the time two guys sitting in a garage and might have delivered already that same product in 6 months or 3 months. So we need to enhance the agility. Okay, it is a challenge for big companies, and then age-old companies as well, because they are with a certain mindset, leadership, and then the entire culture is aligned with that one. So it's hard, but we need to change. We need to break the stereotype. Sustainable growth, long-term success through continuous improvement, and then customer-centric solutions, meeting evolving customer needs. So you put your customer front and center to come up with solutions which are which they love to buy and then use it. Now I'm going to suggest few steps to achieve this convergence. One is cultivate a visionary leadership. What is the takeaway here? Conduct leadership workshops, focus on developing visionary skills and innovative mindset. And then here is where your workshops should be focusing on unlearning, not on learning. Learning, we are smart enough to learn things. The reason is I want to give you an example with a metaphor. So look at this bottle. This bottle is full of water. Now, if I put some more water, it won't go inside. It will spill over, right? Now, if I make a room in this water, I mean in this bottle, then I can pour more water into this. So human brain is also like that. So unless we unlearn, we cannot learn. So the learning process is organic, natural, but unlearning is not natural and organic. So this is where we need to focus on in cultivating visionary leadership. Then moving on, integrate innovation into strategy, align um, your innovation with strategic goals. Takeaway, create a section in your strategic plan dedicated to innovation initiatives and track their progress on a regular basis, if not quarterly, maybe monthly, bi-weekly, depending upon the product you are building and the competitors you have in the market. Okay, so this is very, very important. The kind of product you are building and the competitive market space in which you are in. Based on that, you need to track the progress and then bring the agility in delivering the right products. Then invest in training and development right from the top to bottom. Schedule monthly training sessions on design thinking, innovation management for your teams, imagination workshops. Okay. Um, like, for example, I can give you an example, product in a box. When you buy something, right? Um, you buy the product in a product. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you. I used to have one. I took it to the office to show it to my CXO type team. Anyways, so if you look at that box, right, neatly written, so many things on that box, why you need to buy that product, what are the features on that product. So do a session on your products, building a product. The concept here is product in a box. Okay, even though it is not, but hypothetically imagining that whatever the product or service you are offering, think that they are in a box and you are designing that box. Now, what should be there on the box? Okay, what should be the features? What should, how can we attract um, our customers to buy, influence to buy and pick this product from the rack when they walk into the stores? So do these kind of workshops and trainings which are out of the box, which breaks the stereotype training programs, and create a supportive infrastructure. So the change has to be holistic. Okay, you cannot just do few things, capabilities, and then say, okay, let's go and innovate the things. It won't happen like this. So the takeaway here is invest in creating an innovation lab or hub within your organization, compete with collaborative workspaces and prototyping equipment. So you need to build that supportive infrastructure, so that your engineering, your design, your product, and your marketing team work together as one team in coming up with truly world-class products. Then encourage open communication and feedback. Feedback loops are very, very important. If you don't bring that feedback loop on a constant basis, then you don't know your what we call it as blind spots. No matter how much experience you have driving a car, you still have blind spots, and that's where you need to turn your um, head to look into those blind spots. Okay, so this feedback loop is very, very important in terms of looking at your blind spots, and it gives you constant innovative ideas and feedback and improving your services and products. And inspect and adapt. takeaways, implement a bi-monthly or monthly or bi-weekly, as I said, based on what are your goals and what kind of product you are building, what kind of market you are in, how fast the market is moving. Accordingly, you need to adjust everything and then inspect and adapt. Don't think that your strategy and then your innovation is written on the wall forever. No, this is another blunder you are going to do if you don't inspect and adapt. Okay, you need to constantly evolve your competencies, your capabilities, and then your way of building products in terms of bringing the innovation. Focus. You need to. I don't know if you see iPhone, right? I mean, the Apple company. There are finger count products from the company. Why? The reason is, and they are doing business in trillions. Wow. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. They focus on their core innovations. So if you I'm not sure, I think many of you folks are I believe international audience. So if you are in
Yeah.
Bangalore, there is a restaurant which is called Arogya Ahara, means in English it is healthy food. That restaurant menu, it's the most hygienic place, and if you see their menu, it has only half a dozen items on their menu and at an affordable price. Wonderful. And I've been watching that restaurant, that's my favorite place. For the last 5 years, they have not even included one more item. They are so successful with the six items on their menu. That's it. And the people who go there, they love those six items and they pick from the six items only. So, as a company, guys need to. Um, so it's a natural tendency to the CXO and the company leaders to do many things. So they may say that, oh, okay, if even if we fail this one, oh, we may be successful on this. So this will balance our goals and then our profits and then our returns. I don't think that's going to help, in particularly in building the technology products. We need to be focused on high impact innovation projects and allocate dedicated resources to them, and then see how much um, traction you will get. Like as I said, right? You need to build imagination muscle. Uh, Take away, implement creative brainstorming sessions, imagination workshops to help employees think outside the box. This, if you are a people manager, you are responsible for this to make sure that your team is building this capability. The middle layer in the organization is responsible, in my view, of my 3 decades of experience working with different layers in an organization. They are accountable for building this particular muscle, the organizational muscle, and because they know their team very closely, and then they can do the things. Empowering the teams, we need to build the cross-functional teams with the authority to make critical decisions. If they look to their manager for the making the decision, then you forget about the innovation and the strategy. You are like pretty ordinary company, like any other company. So that is not going to help you in any way in bringing the innovation. So you need to empower your teams, cross-functional teams. You cannot have isolations. The example I can give you is Toyota production system. If you have done a closely looked at, um, Toyota production system came into picture 60, 70 years ago, not now. They talk about the cross-functional teams 70 years before. We are talking now in technology space. Building cross-functional team means that if this team is focusing on one segment of a product, They need to have all the skills within that team so that they are autonomous and they are not dependent on any other one, and they can make the right decisions and then bring the agility in delivering the innovative products. Risk taking, you need to bring that experimentation, the risk management framework that allows for calculated risk taking and provides support for projects that may not have immediate success. So you need to defend to your CXO on the board, fight for this one with the logical data and your imaginative power, how this thing is going to shape in future if we take this risk of investing in that particular aspect. Continuous learning and adoption. So there is a saying in the industry, right? If you stop learning, that is your intellectual death. This applies to your organization as well. If your organization is not learning, then it is equivalent to its intellectual death. What is the takeaway here? Provide access to online courses, workshops, conferences. Bring that learning culture across the companies and make everyone, right? Let's say there is a um, uh, one person, and this same person in the next week, we don't want to be the same person. We want this person to be a delta to be added to his own competencies, skill sets. Likewise, in the next week, the same person need to have the second version, third version, fourth version. Likewise, people need to learn, unlearn, and then grow. And imagine if a company of, let's say, 500 engineers, if every engineer is learning week to week, you can you can imagine how the company is growing on on a weekly basis, not even quarterly basis. On a weekly basis, the company is to do that one. So you have to do these hard things. These things are right. All the slides which I am recommending are very hard to do. This one only very committed leadership teams, companies can do it, and then only with right commitment you can do it. Lastly, I want to end with a simple hypothetical example. Let's create a real-time example, end-to-end example based on Roger Martin's strategy model and then Marty Kagan's innovation framework. The example is the company name is Tech Corp, Journey to Convert Strategy to Innovation. This company is mid-sized company specialized in developing enterprise software solution. The company has been moderately successful, but it is struggling to maintain its competitive edge in an adaptive, evolving market. Now, I just wanted to give you Roger Martin's strategy model, and you can Google it, you can read it. It is basically answers to 5 questions. What are your winning aspirations? And where you want to play, how you want to win, what are the capabilities you want to build, and how you want to measure. Simple 5 questions. You answer these 5 questions. These are then these questions, the answers will evolve into integrated choices what you are going to make. Okay, so here is what the example, going back to that one, strategic choices, where to play. Tech Corp, that company, fictitious company which we talked about, decides to focus uh, on the field of AI driven analytics for the healthcare sector. How to win? By offering highly customized, user friendly solutions that integrate seamlessly with the existing healthcare IT systems. There is nowhere here the profit, margins, top line, bottom line is mentioned over here. Okay, those are the 5 questions which I talked about. What is our winning aspiration? Where we will play, and how we want to win? What are the capabilities we need, and what are the management system application? Now, this is very very important. Uh, um, Become the leader providing of AI-driven analytic solutions of healthcare within 5 years. This is the first question. Answer to the first question. Become the leader providing of AI driven analytics solutions for healthcare within 5 years. This is the winning aspiration. There is nothing related to your bottom line, top line. Where to play? Target major hospitals and healthcare networks in North America. How to win? Develop a proprietary AI platform that leverages patient data to provide actionable insights for improving patient outcomes and operational efficiency. Capabilities: invest in AI research, hire top talent in machine learning, and build strategic partnerships with healthcare providers. Management: implement agile project management, robust customer feedback loops, all that stuff. So these are the five answers to those five questions by Marty Kagan's strategy model. Now, sorry, moving on to the how do we now we come into the innovation. Now, how do we take from that strategy the innovation? The innovation practices: customer centric discovery problem, hospitals struggling with managing vast amount of patient data efficiency. That's the problem. Solution: conduct interviews and shadowing sessions with healthcare professionals to understand their pain points. Then prototype and validate, develop a MVP of the AI-driven analytical platform, run pilot programs in selected hospitals to gather real-world feedback, and then form the cross-functional teams, including product design, engineering, healthcare, which I told before. Give teams the autonomy to experiment with the feedback you got from your prototype and validation, and then continuously deliver, adopt a continuous delivery model to release updates and new features regularly. Use metrics to track the effectiveness of the adaptability of the new features. So this is how you align the convergence between the strategy and innovation, innovative, creating innovation labs, leadership commitment, iterative strategic reviews. Establish an innovation lab focused on AI in healthcare, leadership activity participants, innovation initiatives, implement a bi-weekly or bi-monthly or bi-weekly depending upon how fast your industry is growing. Based on that, you can example outcome: the MVP is launched in the three major hospitals. Early feedback highlights the need for better integration with existing systems and more intuitive user interfaces. Iterative and improvement based on the feedback over. The teams enhance the AI platform's integration capabilities and user interfaces. They also add new features that allow to predictive analytics, which were highly requested by the users. Market expansion: with the improved product, TechCorp expands its pilot to 15 more hospitals, securing significant contracts. Leadership and culture: leadership continuously emphasizes the importance of innovation aligned with the strategic goals. They reward teams with their contribution to the successful deployment of the rewards. So earlier lecture by Alan talking about the rewards, the contribution to the success of the deployment. So the leadership and the culture can bring those kind of things. Results: these are the results. Achieved its strategic goal of becoming a leader provider of AI-driven analytics in healthcare. The convergence of strategy and innovation enables TechCorp to adapt quickly, meet customer needs effectively, and maintain a competitive edge. Lessons learned: the importance of aligning the strategy and then innovation, the value of customer-centric discovery, and the critical role of leadership. So if you apply these things, right, I'm sure you will become one of the good companies which I was talking about. No innovation idea is provided in advance. To conclude the session, I'm sure I'm running late of 10 minutes. My apologies. No innovation idea is proved in advance. So keep this in mind. If anyone is saying that this innovative idea is going to be proved, that's a false statement. So be ready to experiment, okay, and then innovate in different ways, enabling organization to test new ideas, learn from failures, and iterative improvement. And strategy integration experiments involve setting clear objectives, defining success metrics, all that stuff. So that's how you bring the experimentation innovation, and that makes you the importance of vision and courage of the leadership bridging the strategy and innovation, leaders must champion unproven concepts, demonstrating a strategic commitment to long-term growth and competitive advantage. This willingness is very, very important. Otherwise, things won't happen. In conclusion, the convergence of strategy and innovation marked by embracing uncertainty and fostering experiment is key to unlocking the potential of innovation ideas. Visionary leaders who champion this approach drive transformational change and sustained success. With this, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's an honor for me to take any questions. I know I took more time than given, but if I'm allowed, I'm happy to take the questions
Yeah.
otherwise.
So thank you, Mohammed Saab. Thank you very much. It was very insightful, very rich, and very thought-provoking session. I think there are so many points you touch, which are very important, like focus. And that restaurant example was very nice, actually. Okay, that's and you also talk about good companies and general companies, everyone else. Okay, that's very interesting to the participants to understand. And if you have very good literature or so to just to touch on your
Yes,
process.
I can.
Uh,
What I can do what
yeah,
I can do is I can add one more slide to this presentation when you share. You can, I'll put those references over there. I recommend 4 books, truly amazing books. If you don't read those books, means something is missing for you as an individual and for your company as well. So I'll put those references in adding one more slide, Kadhaben.
that's perfect. Actually, that's very important. And due to that lack of time, we are not able to take up questions. However, dear participants, please post all your questions. Then we will reach Sheikh Muhammad, and we'll make sure that those questions get answered. Okay, so thank you very much for joining, Sheikh Saab. It's really, really insightful. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
fantastic session. Have a good time and take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you.